Welcome to another episode of Around the Block. I'm Rick Roberts. Today I get to hang out with Brian Dye of Legacy Discipleship and Chicago Partnership, the Chicago Partnership. We are outside of the iconic Progressive Baptist Church in the Bronzeville neighborhood of Chicago, just on the kind of near south side. And actually, one of the things Brian is part of is a movement called Chicago Delivers. Well, Brian, let's start taking a walk.
Yeah,
and
let's
you
do
can
it.
tell me what you're doing.
Let's do it. So Chicago Delivers was started by the Chicago Partnership. The Chicago Partnerships is a group, a collective of churches from the north side, the south side, the west side, the east side of Chicago, from various denominations, various types of churches, who seek to develop leaders for the Church of Chicago. And so a few of us pastors were having a conversation right when COVID hit, and we realized that it was mostly affecting the poor, black and brown population of our city. And we realized that people who were on public assistance couldn't order groceries online. They couldn't do Instacart and other kind of services. So we started raising up money, and we raised $400,000 to give Instacart gift cards to families. I think we helped 3,000 or 4,000 families who now were able to stay at home or order their groceries, have them delivered, so forth. So that was like the beginning of Chicago Delivers, really just in around March. And then right now, for the next 2 weeks, we're doing COVID testing at 12 different churches from around the city. Again, all parts of the city. And then we just purchased 250 Chromebooks, $50,000 worth of Chromebooks, so that churches could bless schools in their community,
Okay.
who still have needs, as students are obviously doing school from home and so forth. And so Chicago Delivers has just been an amazing blessing. Again, so many churches and individuals have given to it, and it's kind of like the benevolence arm, I guess you could say, of the Chicago Partnership.
Yeah, that's really cool. You know, one of the things that has really excited me about this whole thing about Chicago Delivers is, we were talking about this just a few minutes ago, is many of the churches that are involved, really all the churches that are involved, could have done something like this on their own.
Yeah.
You know, they've got names, they've got pastors with names. They didn't need to do it together, but they did.
Yeah.
How did that happen? How did these pastors, did it just kind of happen, or were these relationships there?
Yeah.
How did that come together?
So the Chicago Partnership has really been about forming relationships, forming friendships of pastors from around the city. And so myself and Pastor Derek Puckett at Renewal were having a conversation. He was sharing what Renewal was going to do. They were doing a campaign to raise $25,000 to help families in need during COVID season. And I tossed out the idea, hey man, what if we did this collectively, right? Because
that's awesome.
we could bring in more funding, we could help more people and so forth, and we could promote Jesus, we could promote the church as opposed to an individual church. And as we started opening up the conversation for other pastors and other churches, like, everyone has new relationships, everyone has new ideas, and it just makes the ministry that much stronger, right? And that's the beauty of the capital C church, right?
Yeah.
The universal church, is when we work together, we're that much more effective. And Jesus' prayer is answered from John 17, right? That they may see that we are one.
Yeah, that's really. So, what have you seen this summer God do with that?
Yeah. So the families, again, about 4,000 families got the gift cards, and now we had other churches who adopted certain families and have monthly consistently visited those families, delivered groceries to them. So the idea is, okay, the gift cards are great, but how can we build relationships with these individuals and these families and so forth? And so that's been able to happen. And again, now we're doing the COVID testing. Today's the first day of 12 days, 2 weeks of testing. And again, it just allows the church to be present, allows the church to be a blessing, to serve. And as people show up here at Progressive Church today, they're also getting a meal. They're building a relationship that will continue on through that. And so, man, we just seen so many. One is it starts with, again, the churches and the pastors connecting, and we've seen more relationships form and relationships go deeper as a result. And we've seen individuals and families again who have been blessed tremendously. I heard people who were taking calls to receive the gift cards, and they would say that people would be crying because they just didn't know where food was going to come from. And we're just so thankful and so blessed.
And that was a big issue at the beginning of the summer, end of the spring, just realizing that in these communities, in some of these communities, it wasn't just as simple as getting up and going to the store or ordering something online and having it delivered. So that was a huge thing. Brian, now I always ask the question, give me a tip of, when somebody who's sitting at home and sees this, and there may be somebody that has some influence and has the ability to pull together getting several churches or several organizations together. But a lot of times it's just a regular person sitting at home. One of the things I love about you, Brian, is that you're not just doing this on an organizational level, but you've got a history of just doing this in your own neighborhood, of bringing people together to love on neighbors, to care for them, to build this, do discipleship with them. Can you just give somebody who's sitting at home or who's watching this and going, man, I love the idea. I want to know more about what do I do to bring people together?
I think we start small, right? I mean, Jesus is our example, right? And he goes out and he finds random people that you would never think would connect together. I mean, you have a tax collector who's collecting taxes for Rome, right? The oppressive government. And then you have Simon the Zealot, who was committed to kill Roman officials, right? Yet he invites them to the same community, to the same group. And so, I think as Americans, we always think big, right? We always think about something huge and get a building and an office and whatnot. And really, it starts with me crossing the street. It starts with me going down my block. It starts with me visiting the church around the corner, right? And sitting in a Wednesday night Bible study, prayer meeting, and so forth. Grabbing coffee with people, inviting people into our house, and grabbing lunch with them, right? Really, it has to start with a relationship, right? Because again, if I don't know you, right, I'm going to be suspicious when you call me asking me for something, right? What's his motive? What are they trying to get out of it, so forth. But if we've grabbed coffee already, right, I know about your family, I know about your kids and whatnot, and so it just brings down walls. And again, that's where ministry has to happen, right? It has to happen around the coffee table, around the dinner table. And again, connecting with people who we never thought we would ever get along with, right? Because again, we live in different parts of the city where we go to different kinds of churches or whatever the situation may be.
Really good. Hey, Brian, thanks for your time. Thanks for your efforts. Thanks for everything's going on here. Really appreciate it.
Yeah.
Thanks, man.
Thank you.